Well, damn, that was ugly. I want to forget everything about that game right now. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Chicago Sports Corner. I'm Alex, and yeah, today was not a good day to be a Bears fan. Uh, One of the worst preseason games I've seen in a while from this team. They didn't score a touchdown, and I mean, after the last two preseasons went pretty damn well, this was a stinker. It's been a minute since I've seen the Bears have a real stinker in the preseason, which, I mean, the preseason doesn't really dictate regular season success, but, it's always fun to see your team play, and you want to see them play well regardless because you're kind of desperate for football to be back a little bit. I mean, we all are, so we're watching preseason football. That's what we're doing, but um, yeah, it wasn't the day. It wasn't the day for the Bears. Now, I'll spare you a lot of the details, but I do want to highlight a couple things within this game before we kind of talk about some more general things. First off, the starting offense, for the most part, was out there on drive number one. Caleb Williams was out there with Roma Dunze, Colston Loveland, Cole Kmet, Khalif Raymond was out there. Kyle Monunga's hurt. DeAndre Swift was not out there, so Roshan Johnson was the starting running back. And Roshan Johnson had a couple nice creases from the starting offensive line, which consisted of Darnell Wright, Jonah Jackson, Garrett Bradbury, Jordan McFadden taking Joe Tooney's spot, and Braxton Jones out on the left tackle. And it wasn't too bad for Roshan Johnson, had a couple nice carries. Caleb Williams' first throw of the 2026 preseason and the 2026 season as a whole is a nice pass on a design fake toss to Johnson, and he's able to sneak it by the defender and get to Roma Dunze in space to pick up a nice gain of about 15 yards. A couple plays later, Caleb Williams hits Colston Loveland, and a lot of people have been talking about it, and I didn't really think about it in the moment, but that was kind of a hip drop tackle. It was kind of a hip drop tackle, and I don't know if I like that. That should have been called, and if Loveland would have gotten hurt there, that would have been really brutal. But you thank your lucky stars sometimes, and that's one moment where you're like, thank goodness Colston's okay, and that wasn't anything serious. After that, Caleb Williams tries to find Colston Loveland again over the middle, and he sailed it a little high for him. That probably was a touchdown if he connected with Loveland, though he had to go up and leap to get it. A couple more incompletions as a holding penalty would back them up. So 1st and 20, incompletion, 2nd and 20, incompletion, 3rd and 20, incompletion. Santos to go out to kick. And, after that drive, I think everyone was expecting the starting offense to be out there for drive number 2. That was not the case. Ben Johnson had seen enough. Case Keenum comes out, and the whole second offense comes out, and the rest of the game plays out. The Bengals would not start Joe Burrow or any of their stars. Joe Flacco wouldn't start either. Not that he really needs to. He's Joe Flacco. He can kind of come out in a pinch. So it's Josh Johnson who comes out to start for the Bengals against what is close to what the starting defense is going to be for the Chicago Bears. Montez Sweat was out there. Devin Bush was out there. Jalen Johnson was out there. I didn't catch TJ Edwards. I don't know if he was out there. Grady Jarrett, I know for a fact, was not out there. But that Bears defense was kind of we were seeing a couple of the same things that plagued them last year. Chunk plays, big yardage early on, but once they got to the red zone, they kind of clamped down a little bit and held the Bengals to a field goal, though Devin Bush did get put on skates by 40-year-old Josh Johnson on a 3rd down and 5. That's not a good sign for a guy that we paid a lot of money for. But it's also only preseason. You kind of, everyone says it's only preseason when, you start, getting really excited about your team. Like, oh, we won this preseason game big time. That's going to be great for the team going forward. Some people will be like, well, it's just preseason. Don't overreact. And I'm also of the opinion of don't overreact the other way in the negative sense. Because clearly this was not the day that anyone in that Bears coaching staff was hoping for. And I don't think we should. I'm going to do my best to not overreact to a Bears preseason game. I'm going to do my best to not overreact to a Bears preseason game. Just repeat that in your head over the next 24 hours. A couple other notes in the first half that I noticed. Johnny Walker had a bad false start penalty in the first half, but he made up for it with a beautiful 36-yard catch on a nicely thrown ball from Case Keenum. That would be the only catch he would have in this game, but it's just nice to see Walker back out on the field as he did not play in Week 1 against the Browns. Sam Roush made a couple of catches and was able to pick up about 30 yards on those, so I was excited to see him in action a little bit in the first half. But offensively, it was just not the day for Chicago. I mean, once you got to the second half and Miller Moss is out there, it was just rough. The Bears had a very nice end of first half drill. Salvon Ahmed was able to have a nice big carry late in the first half on that final drive and the final 30 seconds that would kind of set things up, and the Bears would inch close enough for Santos to kick a field goal. So they went into the break trailing 17-9. Oh, by the way, I missed 2 touchdowns that Josh Johnson threw, so that was just awesome. So they're down 17-9 at halftime, and Miller Moss comes out, and that's all she wrote. Bears offense couldn't really get much going at all. And, Bengals added another touchdown. Sean Clifford with a really nice throw. Like, you can't dispute that was a beautiful throw in the end zone for a touchdown really early in the second half. Evan McPherson hit a field goal in the first couple minutes of the fourth quarter, and it was just basically just practice from there on out. The defense was very alarming. To get diced up like that in their first action as a unit for most of those guys, that's not what you want to see. But I'm here to tell you why that this is not necessarily the worst thing, ever, and this might actually be all right. Because it's the preseason. Because it's the preseason, guys. Like, I don't know. I'm just kind of in this mindset where it's the preseason. I'm not too concerned about the team just yet. If this problem continues to linger through the first month of the season, then obviously, yes, we're going to have a problem. But I think that this is a performance that really was needed to have. Because the coaching staff is not going to be happy with this at all. Ben Johnson's going to be livid, I would assume, because it's Ben Johnson. If anything that we have seen in his tenure so far, he does not tolerate this type of performance. So he's going to let them know. And then for Dennis Allen, I think it's going to prove that, hey, whatever he's got going on right now is not going to work. So he's got some time now to kind of go back to the drawing board a little bit and tweak some things. And I don't know, that's just the way that I'm thinking about it. I feel like this actually could be beneficial, as now the coaching staff can see what needs to be improved on by the fact that they had a really bad performance in the preseason. It's something that they can adjust and continue to grow from, because there's still another 3 weeks until the regular season starts. So we're not in full panic mode right now. This isn't week 5, week 6, where the team is still struggling to move the football and the defense is incredibly porous. No, we are in the second week of the preseason. This stuff has definitely got time to get fixed. I'm not sure. It's been a minute since I've seen a preseason performance like this, so it's just a stinker, and it's kind of what happens sometimes in the preseason. And look, that was not even close to by far the worst performance that happened this week. I mean, just before the Bears took the field against the Bengals, we were looking at the Dolphins getting destroyed by the Giants and the Saints getting mauled by the Rams by worse margins. So it could have been much worse. The Bears at least had 3 field goal drives. There's something that you can take from this if you're the coaching staff and say, like, hey, here are a few positives. Here are a few things that we did well. And here's one of those bright spots. Despite the last points of the game already being scored at this point in the fourth quarter, Skylar Thomas with a phenomenal interception in the second half. That was really cool to see. Just went up and jumped in front and was able to snag it. That was a tough play to make, and that will definitely impress the coaches going into the next week. It might buy him another week on this team. Who knows what happens? It's going to be an interesting week for this team, but I got to point out that pick for Skylar Thomas because that was super cool. And while it was in the fourth quarter of a blowout, it's still a really cool moment for Skylar Thomas. Who knows if that's who knows how far he can get? Who knows if he can make an NFL roster? Who knows if he's going to stay with the Bears on a practice squad? Who knows what that play might get him? And that's what I really look forward in the preseason sometimes, is seeing some of those preseason stories that can come through, and these guys who were kind of walk-ons, kind of cast aside, end up making either the roster or get added to the practice squad to come in a pinch if someone gets hurt. I don't know. It was a rough night for Chicago. Their return to Cincinnati after their 47-42 shootout was not what I think any of us were envisioning. But it is still preseason. These don't count. But at the end of the day, there is a lot to be said about this is a weak performance. And I think that this is great to see how Coach Johnson is able to handle taking a beating like this, and how he's able to adjust for the next week against the Titans. And so the Bears will take on the Titans next week, and then they got 2 weeks off before they're out to Charlotte for week 1 against the Carolina Panthers. 3 weeks until the season begins. Dude, I'm so excited for football to be back. But you know what? We got some preseason football. Bears are playing. Have a good time watching it for the first half. And then, yeah. And so that's about it. I mean, we're keeping it pretty short here in this one. I mean, I think that's fine with me because there's not too much in this game that I really wanted to talk about. There's more about, I know it was a bad game, but it's still preseason. I think it's actually going to be good to see how the coaching staff is able to respond, adjust, and continue to develop what this lineup is going to be as we get closer and closer to the regular season. It's going to be a different challenge for second-year head coach Ben Johnson, and I think it's going to be valuable experience for the young head coach. Anyways, that's it. Thank you for stopping by the Chicago Sports Corner today. I hope you had a good time. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button if you really liked it and want to see more content from me. Football season is just 3 weeks away, so if you want to come along for the ride, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button. Keep the conversation going in the comment section below. Let me know what your thoughts about this one are. Are there any red flags with this team right now? Or do you think this is going to be a great learning experience for a young head coach and a young team? Without further ado, I will see you all in the next one. Take care.